I'm Mike Bowers. I'm talking pitch this morning with the one and only Bill Leake, cartoonist for The Australian. Good to see you, Bill.
Good to see you again, Mike. Thank you.
Mate, what a week. You know,
Hasn't
Twitter
it?
melted down, apparently, at one stage.
I melted down myself. As soon as I heard about the news of Osama's death,
Yeah.
I found myself glued to the computer screen, and I just stayed there for hours. Couldn't do anything about it.
Well, after 10 long years, finally, Obama bin Laden.
Yeah, it did take a long time, let's face it.
This one seemed to capture everyone's imagination, and there is no doubt it's a historic picture of a real event, but there's a definite message here, and really, it's done by the chief photographer, Pete Sousa, in the employ of the White House, and I look at it as a visual press release.
They're extraordinary pictures, I also find it very interesting when you look at Obama's face in all of these.
Yeah.
And he looks genuinely weighed down by it.
Yeah.
And what a good job he's doing of covering up that feeling that's inside, saying, if we held an election tomorrow, I'd romp it in.
Well, I have no doubt at the end of this meeting there would have been backslaps and handshakes and smiles.
I don't think it'd be fair to say that anyone's too upset about the fact that he's been murdered. But the triumphalism was a little bit over the top.
Mark Knight has picked up on the Situation Room. He's got a very special take on what he thinks went on. With the Commander-in-Chief here with the Sony PlayStation console.
He's doing a good job too, by the looks of things.
A little tongue out.
Yeah, a little tongue out, and the beautiful copy of the same sorts of attitudes that you see in that photograph there are really wonderful.
A really disturbing Spooner, but
deeply disturbing.
Beautiful drawing of.
As always with John Spooner, just has these beautiful drawings.
I found that really disturbing with the bloodstain of America on the.
Brilliant.
Katauskas sees it as a job opportunity for other despots in the region.
Can I be public enemy number one, please?
I'm here about.
I'm here. Brilliant, isn't it?
United States Embassy in Libya.
I love that.
Alan Moyer's got his own take on why it was that Pakistan didn't realise he was there.
I just think this was one of the most beautifully drawn cartoons I've seen for a long time.
Yeah.
Each of these little people here that look just like Osama bin Laden, they're all just sort of done so effortlessly.
Yes.
And I was talking to a very dear friend of mine about this morning over a cup of coffee, and she said, I know people will say that's terribly racist, but isn't it funny?
Meanwhile, Julia's flown back home and preparing for a show of her own after the royal wedding. And
I bet you she's wishing she was still back at the royal wedding. Talk about a firefight in a botter bag. She's come straight into one, hasn't she, of her own in Canberra.
I just love this Tim, though.
Tim's he's actually quite difficult to draw because every time you see a photo of Tim, there's just this sort of roundish face with these two huge teeth, and he's always smiling. If you want to make him look a little bit angry, as a cartoonist, you've got a job ahead of you.
You've got to do it in the eyes.
That's right.
Has someone been staying here while we were away?
Well, someone was making hay while they were away.
Golding's...
this one was a lovely drawing.
OK, big polluters. Show of hands who thinks putting a price on carbon is the best way to tackle global warming with hands in the air and hands out.
That's right. I think it's very, very funny. Your little beauty.
I guess there's nothing else to say, but thank you very much for coming on Talking Pictures.
My pleasure, mate. Good to see you.
Do you want to do the honours?
I'll do the honours. Back to you, big, bad, bustling Barry.